The alien city of Terexar shone under 3 suns, its towers made of blue crystal, and its air filled with mocking laughter. In the center square stood a human, tall but calm, his eyes covered by a thin black band. His name was Captain Aaron Vale, the only blind human ever to walk the alien capital. He had once saved their fleets from destruction during the Orion Wars, guiding ships through radiation storms using only his hearing and instincts. Now the aliens were rewarding him, or so they said. But everyone in the crowd knew this was no honor. It was a joke. Before him stood a trembling alien woman, her scales pale gray, her eyes downcast. Her name was Lyra, the youngest daughter of a noble family called the Unwanted One. She was born with uneven markings on her face, and among her kind beauty meant perfection. They called her blemished and cursed and useless, and today she was being offered to the blind human as a gift of pity. "Let the human have her," one noble whispered, his voice sharp with cruelty. "He cannot see anyway." Laughter spread through the plaza like fire. But Aaron didn't react. He simply turned his head slightly, as if he could sense every sneer and every insult around him. When the alien High Counselor announced, "Captain Aaron Vale, accept this union as a symbol of peace," the human stepped forward. He reached out his hand, not to touch her face, but to gently hold her trembling fingers. "Peace," he said softly. His voice calm and firm, is built on kindness, not laughter. The square went silent for a moment. The mocking smiles froze. Lyra looked up, confused by his tone. She had expected disgust, pity, or coldness. But instead there was warmth in his words. For the first time in her life, someone didn't see her as a mistake that night. They were escorted to a small human-built habitat outside the alien city. It was quiet, surrounded by fields of silver grass that shimmered in the moonlight. Inside, Lyra sat in silence, afraid to speak. "You don't have to be afraid," Aaron said as he moved around confidently despite his blindness. "I may not see faces, but I can see people through their voice. Through their silence," she frowned. "You cannot see anything," she said softly. He smiled faintly. "You'd be surprised what I can see." Unknown to her, Aaron wasn't just blind. He had been enhanced by Earth Fleet Command after the war. They had implanted a neural sensory system in his mind, a secret technology that allowed him to detect emotional energy, heat signatures, and life pulses. He could see the world through rhythm and emotion, not light, when he focused. The world came alive around him, glowing outlines of living beings, warm colors for kindness, cold shadows for cruelty. When he looked toward Lyra, he saw something strange. Her energy wasn't dull or broken like the others said. It was bright, unstable, yet beautiful, like a living star trapped inside a fragile body. Days passed. The city kept laughing, and news spread across the empire. The blind human married the ugly alien, they said. What a match. But Aaron ignored them. He spent his time learning her language, her music, and her customs. He encouraged her to speak about her dreams, and she told him that she once wished to be a healer before her family locked her away. "You still can be," he told her gently. "The world only stays cruel until someone decides to change it." His words confused her, inspired her, and slowly broke the wall of shame that had been built around her since birth. One evening, when the sun set and the night air cooled, Aaron suddenly froze. He felt something pulsing from Lyra, an energy unlike anything he had sensed before. He concentrated, his neural vision expanding, and saw her aura radiating light that could shift the molecular balance of the air. He realized she wasn't cursed, she was gifted. Her body generated a stabilizing energy field that could heal damaged biospheres, something the galaxy had never seen. It wasn't ugliness that made her unwanted. It was fear. Her family had hidden her away because her gift was unpredictable, and they didn't understand it. Aaron recorded a message using his wrist device. "Encrypted to Earth Command, subject Lyra," he said quietly. "Possesses bioresonant energy capable of planetary regeneration." He paused, looking in her direction, though his eyes could not see. "She may be the key to rebuilding dead worlds," he whispered. "Treat her with respect." That night as she slept, Aaron sat by the window, listening to the soft hum of her energy in the air. He smiled faintly. "They think I am blind," he said to himself. "But they are the ones who cannot see." The stars above flickered like distant eyes, and Aaron made a silent vow. He would protect her, guide her, and show the galaxy that what they mocked could one day change everything. In the distance, alien nobles drank and laughed, calling the human a fool, but Somewhere deep in the city, an alien scientist reviewed secret surveillance footage and noticed something terrifying. During the ceremony, when Aaron touched Lyra's hand, the energy readings around them had spiked beyond safe limits. "The human isn't blind," the scientist whispered to himself. "He's something else." And so began a story that would shake the balance of two civilizations. The blind human who saw the truth, and the unwanted sister who carried a light the universe wasn't ready for. Days turned into weeks, and the laughter of the alien nobles began to fade from Lyra's mind. Inside the small dome home, surrounded by silver fields, life started to change slowly. Captain Aaron Vale moved through the rooms with quiet precision, never bumping into a single wall. His movements were so confident that sometimes Lyra forgot he was blind. When she finally asked him how he did it, he smiled and said, "I listen to the world." He explained that every sound, every breath, and every heartbeat had a rhythm, and that rhythm painted the world in his mind. Lyra had never met anyone like him. While others looked at her with disgust, he never once mentioned her scars or her pale skin. Instead, he asked her what she liked, what she dreamed about, and what made her laugh. At first, she didn't know how to answer. She had never been asked such things before. But each evening, as they sat by the glowing lamp, Aaron would tell her stories of Earth, of blue oceans, green forests, and skies filled with birds. She listened with wonder, imagining the sounds he described, and slowly she started to smile again. One evening, while sharing food, Aaron suddenly said, "You have a beautiful voice." "Lyra," she blinked, confused. "You cannot see me."
"But you call my voice beautiful?"
He nodded. "Beauty isn't what eyes see, it's what hearts hear." For a moment, she didn't know what to say. Tears filled her eyes. In that moment, she realized that this blind human saw more than anyone she had ever met. But outside their peaceful dome, things were changing. The alien nobles had grown suspicious. Reports were spreading. "The blind human has strange technology," some said, "and the unwanted sister is not so unwanted anymore." Scientists from the Royal Institute began monitoring the dome secretly, trying to understand why energy readings spiked whenever Lyra was near Iran. They didn't know that Iran's neural system reacted to her presence. Stabilizing both their life energies in perfect balance together, they formed something unique, a living harmony between human technology and alien biology. Inside the dome, Aaron noticed the changes too. He began detecting faint energy waves in the atmosphere that followed Lyra wherever she went. When she sang, the silver grass outside swayed even without wind, and small flowers began to bloom near their home. He recorded every reading, sending coded reports to Earth Command. "Her energy has the power to heal soil and air," he whispered into his recorder. "Her voice alone can make dead land come alive." One night, when a powerful storm hit Terexar, lightning struck near their home, causing a power surge. The lights went out, alarms blared, and the dome began to shake. Lyra panicked. "Aaron, the walls are cracking," she cried. "Stay calm," he said firmly, walking toward her with steady steps. "I can feel where the stress is coming from." He guided her to place her hand on the energy core of the dome. When her palm touched it, the entire room glowed with a soft blue light. The power returned, and the storm outside suddenly weakened. Aaron felt it. Her energy had interacted with the storm itself, calming it. When it was over, Lyra sat down, shaking. "What did I just do?" "You saved us," Aaron said softly, smiling. "You controlled nature itself." She looked at him, afraid. "But that's impossible." He shook his head. "Not for you." That night, as the rain faded, Aran sat quietly beside her, realizing something greater. Lyra wasn't just gifted, she was evolution's next step. The next day, the Alien Council received reports about the strange storm event. Sensors showed that energy levels around the human dome had increased to levels capable of affecting planetary weather. High Priest Ziran, one of Lyra's brothers, ordered spies to gather proof. "They are hiding something," he said. "No human should have such power." Unaware of the danger, Aaron and Lyra continued their peaceful days. She started to sing again, not for worship or ceremony, but because Aaron asked her to. He said her voice helped him see more clearly. Her song painted shapes and colors in his mind. Each note she sang made the air shimmer, and Aaron saw her aura glowing like dawn. It was beauty beyond sight, something even he couldn't describe. But deep inside, Aaron also knew peace never lasted long in this universe. He could sense the growing hostility outside. the whispers of nobles, the quiet hum of drones watching from the sky. Still, he didn't tell Lyra. He wanted her to live freely for as long as possible. At night, he would whisper to himself, "They mocked me for marrying her, but they don't know the truth yet." A week later, as dawn rose over Terexer, Aaron felt a strange signal from the horizon, multiple energy sources moving closer. He sighed and touched the band over his eyes. "They are coming." Lyra woke up and asked, "Who?" "Your people," he said quietly, "and they don't come in peace." Fear crossed her face. "What will we do?" He smiled faintly. "We'll show them that blindness isn't weakness, and that what they call ugly can be divine." As alien ships appeared in the sky, their engines glowing red, Aaron activated his neural system. Inside his mind, the world turned into waves of color and sound. He could feel every movement, every heartbeat, and beside him, Lyra's energy flared like a rising sun. For the first time, she didn't hide. She stood tall, ready to face them. And in that moment, the unwanted sister began to become something else. The light that would change their world. The alien sky was filled with red lights as the Royal Patrol ship circled above the human dome. Their engines hummed like thunder, and the sound made the ground tremble. Lyra stood by the window, her hands shaking, her heart pounding fast. She had never seen her family's ships come for her before. Now they came not out of care, but out of fear. Captain Aaron Vale stood in the center of the room. Calm and still, he tilted his head slightly, listening to the rhythm of engines, footsteps, and whispers from the soldiers outside. "They have surrounded the dome," he said quietly, "but they are uncertain. They don't understand what they face." Lyra turned to him, her voice trembling. "They'll take us away, Aaron. They'll call me a monster." He smiled faintly. "Then let them see what kind of monster you truly are. A miracle." A loud voice echoed through the comm system. "Human captain, step outside, surrender the alien woman. She carries unstable energy that threatens this planet." Aaron chuckled softly. "Unstable energy," he said, "or unstoppable hope." He took Lyra's hand, his touch steady and warm. "Stay close to me, and no one will harm you." When the door opened, the bright alien soldiers stood in perfect lines. Their armor shimmered with symbols of nobility, and their leader, High Priest Ziran, Lyra's older brother, stepped forward. His eyes were cold, his voice sharp. "You dishonor our family, sister. You bring shame upon our blood." Lyra lowered her gaze. "I never wanted shame," she whispered. "Only peace," Ziran sneered. "Peace? You corrupted our sacred energy by bonding with a blind outsider." Aaron tilted his head. "Corrupted?" he repeated softly. "No, she perfected it." The soldiers raised their weapons. Energy rifles glowing blue, Ziran shouted. "Take them alive." Aaron smiled and whispered, "They shouldn't have said that." Before the soldiers could move, Aaron tapped the small device on his wrist, activating his neural defense system. A soft hum filled the air as invisible waves rippled outward. Suddenly, all the weapons short-circuited, their energy turning back into harmless light. The aliens stumbled, confused. "What kind of human weapon is this?" one shouted. But then something stranger happened. Lyra's eyes began to glow, bright silver light pouring out like water. The ground started to vibrate. The silver grass outside shimmered as if alive. Aaron could feel her energy expanding, merging with his own neural field. He saw it in his mind, two auras connecting like twin suns, forming a new balance. The storm that had once frightened her now moved at her command. She raised her hands, and the air itself obeyed, creating a wall of light that surrounded them both. The soldiers froze, unable to move, their weapons useless. The entire area was filled with silence, broken only by the hum of pure energy. "Enough," Ziran roared. "This is forbidden power." Aaron turned toward his voice, his expression calm but fierce. "You called it forbidden because you were too afraid to understand it," he said. "But now it will save you." The power field around them pulsed once more, and the sky began to shift. The polluted clouds that had hung over the alien capital for centuries suddenly cleared. Blue light, real pure sky, broke through for the first time in generations. Every alien looked up in shock as warmth touched their skin. Lyra's energy was healing the atmosphere itself. The soldiers stepped back, whispering in disbelief. "She changed the air," one said. "The toxins are gone," another whispered. "She's no curse. She's divine." Ziran stared in silence, unable to speak for the first time. He saw his sister not as an embarrassment, but as something powerful and holy. But his pride would not allow him to admit it. "This is human trickery," he shouted. "It's their machines." Aaron shook his head. "No machine could make her heart this strong," he said softly. He placed his hand gently over Lyra's. "Together we are harmony. Your kind called it weakness. We call it balance." As the power faded, the dome stood unharmed and the soldiers slowly retreated. Afraid to attack again, Zoran clenched his fists. "You will regret this," he warned. But Aaron only smiled. "The only regret is yours for never learning to see." After the ships left, the dome was quiet again, but everything had changed. The news of the event spread like wildfire across the alien empire. People whispered in every corner. The blind human stopped an army. The cursed princess healed the sky. Fear and awe mixed together, creating a storm of emotion across the stars. Alien scientists studied the data and found something terrifying. The combined energy of Aaron and Lyra had altered the planet's magnetic field in a controlled way. It wasn't random, it was intelligent, almost alive. Aaron knew this would not end here. He turned to Lyra that night and said, "They will come again, this time not to mock us, but to control us." She looked up at him, her voice soft but steady. "Then we will show them that love cannot be controlled." He smiled. "That's the spirit of humanity." As they watched the stars together, their bond growing stronger, the universe itself seemed to whisper around them. The human who could not see and the alien no one wanted had become symbols of something greater. Their enemies were beginning to fear them. But they had no idea this was only the beginning, because soon, the entire galaxy would learn what it truly meant when a human and an alien heartbeat as one. The sun rose quietly over Terexar, painting the alien city in soft gold. But the peace was only an illusion. Deep below the crystal towers in the Royal Science Hall, the High Council studied endless streams of data. Every reading, every energy spike from the human dome was analyzed, and the results were clear. The human and the unwanted alien sister had done something impossible. They had changed the world's air composition, healing its poisoned atmosphere within hours, something that alien science couldn't achieve in centuries. High Priest Zarin stood before the council, his eyes dark with anger. "This cannot be allowed to continue," he said coldly. "The human uses forbidden technology, and my sister, she is not in control of her powers." An elder scientist, trembling with both fear and awe, replied, "High Priest, it is not forbidden, it is evolution." But Zoran slammed his fist. "Evolution does not come from humans," he spat. "They are the ones who bring war and ruin, not miracles." While the council argued, far away inside the quiet dome, Aaron and Lyra were packing their things. He had sensed the growing tension through the energy field. The whispers in the air, the movement of troops across the planet. "They will come for us again," he said calmly, "but this time, we won't wait." Lyra looked at him with concern. "Where will we go?" "To the stars," he said. "To the one place they can't reach us, my ship." Hidden deep under the silver fields was the Insight, a small human-built stealth vessel Aaron had secretly repaired over the past months. He had hidden it beneath the soil using a phase cloak, powered by the same resonance that now connected him and Lyra. When they reached the ship, the hatch opened with a soft hiss. Glowing lights guiding their way inside, Lyra's eyes widened as she saw the human technology. Smooth metal walls, gentle blue lights, and a control core that pulsed like a living heart. "It's beautiful," she whispered. Aaron smiled. "It's home." As the engines came to life, the sensors warned of approaching enemy craft. Aaron guided Lyra to the co-pilot seat, his fingers moving over the controls like he could see every switch. "Trust me," he said, "I've flown through worse storms than this." Outside, alien ships appeared on the horizon, their weapons locking onto the coordinates of the dome. Before they could fire, the Insight rose from the ground, breaking through the clouds like a streak of light. In seconds, they were gone, vanishing into the dark space above the planet. Inside the ship, Lyra sat in silence, watching the stars stretch into endless trails. Her heart raced with both fear and excitement. "We left everything behind," she said. Aaron nodded. "Sometimes, to see clearly, we must leave the blindness of the familiar." She smiled slightly. "You speak like a prophet," he chuckled. "Just a soldier who's seen too much darkness." But even as they left Terexar, the alien high command began tracking them. Dozens of warships were dispatched into orbit, following the strange energy trail left by their bond inside the Insight. Alarms began to beep. "They're coming," Lyra said softly. "I know," Aaron replied. tapping the neural interface on his temple. Let's show them what true vision looks like. He connected directly to the ship's AI, merging his neural system with the control grid. Lyra gasped as the walls around them began to glow. Responding to their heartbeats, the ship itself became alive, moving as if it understood them. What is happening? She asked, her voice full of wonder. Our connection, he said. It's spreading. The ship is syncing with us. Her energy field stabilized the engines, making them faster and smoother than ever. The alien fleet caught up, firing plasma bolts that cut across the darkness. Aaron's mind reacted instantly, dodging every shot with perfect timing. Through their bond, Lyra could feel his thoughts, his focus, his calm. When a missile nearly hit them, she raised her hand, and the space around the ship rippled. The missile dissolved into harmless light. She gasped, I didn't mean to. He smiled. Don't apologize for saving us. After an intense chase, the Insight finally escaped into deep space, entering a hidden human relay station inside. A holographic projection flickered to life. Earth Fleet Command. Captain Vale, the Admiral said, his voice heavy with disbelief. We thought you were dead. Aaron smiled faintly. Not yet, sir. And I have someone you need to meet. He turned toward Lyra. This is Lyra of Terexor, the one they called Unwanted. But she may hold the power to save entire worlds. The Admiral looked stunned. Her readings are off the chart, he muttered. Captain, do you realize what this means? Aaron nodded slowly. It means humanity and the aliens don't need to destroy each other. We can heal together. But deep down, he knew peace wouldn't come easily. As the transmission ended, Lyra placed her hand over his. They will never stop hunting us, will they? He shook his head. No, but we're not running anymore. He looked through the viewport. Though his eyes saw nothing, yet in his mind, he saw everything, the stars, colors, energy, and the faint outline of hope. The universe mocked me for being blind, he whispered. But maybe blindness is what helped me see what truly matters. Lyra smiled, her voice gentle but powerful. And they mocked me for being ugly. But you showed me I am light. As the Insight glided through the stars, the galaxy itself seemed to watch in silence. Two souls once broken, now shining brighter than empires. The human who could not see and the alien who was not wanted had become symbols of something far greater than war. They had become the spark of unity, and soon, both humanity and the alien empire would realize that nothing could stop what had already begun. Months passed as the Insight traveled across the stars, far from the reach of the alien empire and the human fleets. Aaron and Lyra became known only by whispers, the blind captain and the unwanted princess who vanished into the void. But their actions had already set the galaxy in motion. Wherever they went, dead planets began to breathe again. Poisoned atmospheres turned clear and life slowly returned. The name Lyra was no longer spoken with mockery. It became a legend, a name of light inside the ship. The connection between them grew stronger each day. Aaron could sense her emotions without words. Her energy wrapped around his neural field like a living melody. They trained together, learning how to control the flow of her energy, how to direct it without harm. Sometimes they landed on dying colonies where humans and aliens lived in despair. Lyra would sing softly, her voice flowing through the air, and within hours the crops grew. The sky cleared and people cried with joy. Aaron would stand beside her, guarding her, guiding her. Proud of the woman who had once been called cursed but far away, the alien High Council could not let go of their pride. High Priest Ziran gathered fleets, swearing to bring his sister back. Her power belongs to us, he said, and the human will be erased. Yet as his armadas prepared for war, something unexpected happened. A message spread across the galaxy, broadcasted on every frequency. Aaron's voice, calm but unshakable. You mocked what you didn't understand, he said. You gave me a woman as a joke, but she became your salvation. You called me blind, but I saw your fear. Now look at what your hatred has cost you. While you fight over pride, worlds are dying. If you wish to survive, learn to see through more than your eyes. The message spread faster than any weapon. It reached alien soldiers, human fleets, traders, miners, and even children who had never known peace. People began to question their leaders. Why destroy what could heal? Why hate those who could help? Meanwhile, the Insight approached Earth for the first time in years. The human government, cautious but curious, granted them entry. Aaron and Lyra were welcomed not as fugitives but as symbols of hope. Scientists studied their bond and realized it wasn't just rare. It was the start of a new era, a merging of two species that could share energy, thought, and emotion without words. Lyra walked through the halls of the Earth Council building, her silver scales glowing under the soft light. Wherever she stepped, flowers bloomed from cracks in the marble. Children followed her with wonder, calling her the Star Healer. Aaron stood beside her, proud but humble, his black band still covering his eyes. When asked if he wanted his sight restored, he only smiled. "I already see more than most men with perfect eyes," he said days later. A massive gathering was held on Earth's surface, humans and aliens standing side by side for the first time. The skies above were filled with ships from every world. Lyra stood before the crowd, her voice echoing through the air. "I was unwanted," she said, "but a human showed me that worth is not given by birth, but by choice." Aaron placed his hand over hers and added, "They laughed when I accepted her, but they forgot. Humans never mock hope." The crowd erupted in cheers. Even across the galaxy, the broadcast spread. And for the first time in generations, silence fell on the battlefields. Soldiers laid down their weapons. Leaders questioned their hate. Change had begun, not through war, but through compassion. In the years that followed, a new alliance was formed, the union of sight and soul. It united humans and aliens under one purpose: healing the worlds destroyed by greed and fear. Lyra became its ambassador, teaching that energy and emotion were one. Aaron became its first fleet commander, leading not with power but with wisdom. Together, they visited planets on the brink of ruin and brought them back to life. People began to say, "The blind human gave us vision, and the cursed sister gave us light." One quiet evening, aboard the Insight, they sat together, watching the stars drift by. Lyra whispered, "Do you ever miss seeing?" Aaron smiled gently. "No," he said, "because I have you, and you're everything worth seeing." She laughed softly, resting her head on his shoulder. "You never stop saying things like that." He chuckled. "That's because I never stop meaning them." Outside, the stars shimmered brighter, as if the universe itself was smiling. In every corner of the galaxy, stories of them spread. Not as myths, but as reminders that understanding and love could change even the coldest hearts. And though many still doubted, most began to believe that perhaps the greatest power was not strength or vision, but the courage to see beyond appearances. As the Insight disappeared into the horizon of stars once again, a final message echoed through every world. "In a galaxy obsessed with sight," Aaron's voice said, "it took a blind man to show them how to see, and a forgotten sister to remind them what beauty truly means. And so, the universe changed forever, no longer ruled by fear, but guided by two souls, one who could not see with his eyes, and one who was never seen for who she truly was. Together they became the vision of a new age, the story of a blind human and an unwanted alien who changed the world with nothing but faith, love, and light."